Brian with Brian's Gym here, doing video number 4. I actually did this video yesterday, but the rain was so intense, it drowned out my voice. For a lot of you, I know that's hard to imagine if you know me. But anyways, getting into video number 4, talking about conversations you should have with your personal trainer to use them more efficiently, as well as red flags and what to look for. Last video, I talked about home coaches and online coaches, and to be fair, not hold bias, I said I do the same with personal training, and we'll do in general with gym-based environment or anything that's related. But I would have done this anyway, just because, like I said, I want these videos to help people in their pursuit of new routines, fitness, new lifestyle, whatever. So, getting right into it. The first thing that one needs to be sure about when hiring a trainer is that they are actually a certified trainer. Now, that might seem overtly obvious. A trainer should be certified by an accredited entity. That would be ISSA, NASCM, ACE, AFA. If they have some educational background, it might be the College of Sports Medicine, or they might actually have education such as their BS in exercise science or even their master's. The reason that I'm pointing this out is some commercial and chain gyms have found a way to skirt around these requirements. They will have an in-house test that anybody off the street can come in and take. And once they've passed their test, they will be given a template or a book of template-based workouts that will be implemented as a system for individual clients or in a group training setting. And these are often advertised as more economical, which they are, less for the fact the client is not actually being trained by a certified trainer. So that is something that you want to make sure when you first inquire about training is what background or certification do they have. And I'm not saying that all chain gyms, commercial gyms are doing this. I'm saying it has become more of an issue throughout the years. So it's just something to be aware of. Getting into the individual or the trainer as an individual, things to look for. Well, some things you can do is ask for references. You know, they will probably give you their better references and their loyal references, but at least you've got something. The other thing is to check out their social media. Ask for their social media. Go through that. You can even, employment, a lot of things. You can get a good overall assessment of what somebody's like from their social media. But the main thing, is looking for, and this is something that could be asked, hey, do you do online coaching as well? And if so, inquire about what their client load is, look on social media, see if they are balancing that well, and if they give the attention that they need to appropriately to their in-person clients, especially because those people are probably going to be paying a little bit more. So that's the next thing. As far as looking for some red flags, well, the first red flag I would go for is looking at price. If you get a trainer who has just bottomed themselves out on price-wise and they're cheaper than everybody else, there might be a good reason for that. It might be the fact that they've got to get that quantity over quality because, maybe they've ruined their reputation in some way. Maybe they're not on time for clients. Maybe they haven't been putting the effort into giving them new routines. There could be a number of reasons. So just because somebody has the cheapest price is not always a good indicator that you're going to, get what you want. You get what you pay for a lot of times. So, pay attention to that. It doesn't mean that trainers don't set a little bit better deals, if clients commit to bigger packages. But again, price is something to consider when going with a trainer, and cheaper is not always better. Next red flag, and this was more common during the early 2000s, I think, before social media. I know I would hear of it a little bit more back in the day, but you had what you called the pain trainers. And these trainers just seemed to get off on how much they could make somebody hurt. How hard of a workout could they put somebody through? Yeah, and they get all pumped up, and oh man, you couldn't walk, you couldn't move. And, there was really no technical, significant reason for it. It seemed that's what they thrived on. They equated reputation of pain to quality of workout. And the truth is, if I want to do that, I can bring you into the gym 3 times a week and we can do 1,000 burpees, and you're gonna feel the pain. You're gonna feel it, especially doing a repetitive motion. It's not something that's going to be have very good client adherence or long-term viability. It's also something that repetitive motions over time can actually cause injuries, in some cases more so than heavy weight. And so you just got to watch for that. In that same kind of category would be trainers, coaches, whatever that, or whoever that have a reputation for just seeming to have people injured around them or who've been involved with them a lot. I've heard of specific instances where a single individual was responsible for multiple torn tendons and ligaments, and it was almost always the same thing. It was pushing somebody, not in a positive way, but almost in a, you got to remember, clients that are new don't always do things out of excitement. They do things out of peer pressure. And in a number of these circumstances, somebody was encouraged to, oh, come on, you could do more weight, do higher weight than they'd ever done. Well, they hadn't properly warmed up. In almost all cases, it was a weight issue. It was do more weight. You can do it. You've got this, and there's nothing more meatheadish and idiotic than just simply being, the bozo type of coach or trainer that's pushing people to do more for the sake of doing more. And the more confusing thing is, a lot of these people would walk around like these injuries were badges of honor. And, granted they were new, so I don't think they really understood why, it's not exactly a good thing to have constant injuries, but nonetheless. So, you do have to watch out for some of that peer pressure based, pain based type trainer. Getting into the next category, I want to pretense this with talking about 2 different types of clients. Client A is the client that comes to the gym and works with a trainer and uses the gym and a trainer for a mental release. Truthfully, they don't want to think about a thing. They don't want to think about, increased intensity, racking or re-racking weights, unracking weights, setting up the exercise, logging, anything. To some degree, they may not even care about weight loss as much as just feeling good mentally and maintaining a relationship or having a trainer to just keep them functionally fit. And if this is the case, that is absolutely fine. The trainer will take care of everything. They should take care of everything. There's nothing wrong with that. Client B is going to be the client that wants to educate themselves about the gym, learn about the gym, increase their awareness about, specific exercises, learn how to program maybe, and just become more cognizant in the facility. These people are oftentimes going to have goals. And So if you're one of these people, you need to sit down, and it may not necessarily be in your initial client assessment, which all good trainers should do. All good trainers should sit you down and go through a PAR-Q, go through any history of health-related injuries, issues, whatever the case. If they don't do that, that is a definite red flag. But anyways, you may not do that your first session, your first sit down. That may be a conversation for another point. But you need to sit down and talk to the trainer about attainable goals with what you're wanting to do. I.e., hey, if I train with you once a week and I'm, off on my own twice a week, can I lose X amount of weight in, Y amount of time? And, have a conversation with the trainer, because it may be the type of thing to where, they hear what you're saying, you guys talk, you get a program down, you're shooting for a goal in, 10 to 12 weeks, and they say, hey, yes, this is doable. Let's reassess in 10 to 12 weeks and go from there. On the flip side, you may hear from the trainer that, I understand this is what you're wanting, but, you're going to have to put in more effort, and that effort has to be at a certain intensity level. And if you don't do that, you're not going to hit your goal. And that may dictate how much you work with a trainer. Like I've talked about in past videos, it may be working on your own and doing some touch-up sessions. It may be working on your own and doing a once-a-week session. But that's a discussion that you need to get into. If this is the route you go, you should have some measurable micro, week to week, and macro or long-term measurable goals to show physical improvement. Doesn't necessarily have to be weight loss. It should be, one of the fun ones is logging a client's workout, or if they're logging it and, bringing out their old log compared to what they're doing now. Another might be a conditioning exercise, and, in the beginning, they can't even do the full thing. And after a certain amount of weeks, now they're able to do the entire exercise, but they're doing it for time. There should be something measurable that you and the trainer are constantly working on, because not doing so opens you up to have one of the other red flag based trainers. And these trainers, although they do the same thing, may do it for different reasons. And these are the trainers that, even when their clients have goals, they know that they want to work, the trainer just gets comfortable or purposefully is lazy, knowing that they're going to get paid no matter what. Obviously, as a business, as any entity that is providing a service, you are looking to make money. But there's a distinct difference between advertising, and that's even like, what we talked about in the previous online video. There's a distinct difference about advertising one-on-one interaction and supervision, and not giving that. Just simply continuing to put somebody through the same workouts. I don't want to say same workouts, but the same kind of intensity level. And, every so often changing up the workout. Or if the client brings up that, hey, I'm not feeling like I'm getting the results, okay, well, let's switch some stuff up here. There's never really a push to incrementally increase the weights, the intensity. It's just kind of this status quo, go about your business and get in a routine. And these are the trainers that will wholeheartedly take your check, take your money, and oftentimes they may do it in a manner that they give you a really good deal. Like I talked about before, you get what you pay for. And I've seen where people sign up with these trainers, they develop an unbridled loyalty to them, but the trainer's comfortable. He or she knows that this person's probably not going to go anywhere else, especially if this person got started with them. And so they just keep kind of throwing out routines here, and there's no real measurable marker of success. It's just continuing to give just enough effort to make the client think that they are getting their money's worth. And if that's the case, it may be time to check out a new trainer or have a conversation with that trainer. Which leads to another red flag. I've seen instances where people wanted to try a different trainer just for the sake of, they weren't unhappy with their trainer. They just wanted to try a different trainer. And, maybe they didn't talk to their trainer about it. They just kind of, left them dry and signed up with somebody else. And, hey, nobody ever wants to just feel blindly, left behind. But nonetheless, the trainer got jealous of it, was passive aggressive to some other people. And the truth of the matter is, I knew the person was going to go back to the trainer. They just wanted to try something else. But after that, it was, they didn't. And in their mind, it was, hey, what are you wanting me to, what do you not want me to find out about how we trained? Is it, you're actually worried that somebody is going to give me more of what I wanted, or, they just might have not wanted to deal with the fact no client wants to deal with, any passive aggressive, communications going on, about them when they really didn't do anything. So, that's another thing to look out for. And again, I think the most important thing is the conversation with the trainer. I think sitting down after your initial assessment and developing and inquiring and asking about goals, that is probably the most important thing, because there's nothing worse than seeing somebody feel like they've learned the new magic kung fu move because they're learning exercises, and then see them kind of get, deflated because weeks later they're on their own doing these sessions, but they're not putting the same intensity in that they should have. Or maybe they still train with the trainer once a week, but on their own, they're just kind of haphazardly doing these exercises, and you can just watch them deflate. So you need to have that conversation about what type of intensity do I need to maintain? How many times a week? How many minutes should I be active exercising, whether in the gym, outside of the gym? Nutrition habits. If you're making healthy choices, and this is a video we can kind of get into later, maybe you're in the beginning, you're just trying to make healthier choices. That doesn't mean that your calorie intake is still not going to be higher than your calorie outtake if you, especially if you're not putting the intensity into your exercise. So these are all things that, I'd sit down with, talk to a trainer about, and really kind of map out, it doesn't have to be super detailed, but just some markers, some 3-week goals, some 6-week, 12-week, 6-month type goals, and work with the trainer, whether you're training consistently or every other week and doing stuff on your own, just to have a good impression on your mind, as well as allow the trainer to kind of know, hey, this is what we're shooting for. If we don't hit this, there's something going on. So I hope this has helped people in regards to, choosing a trainer, some things to look out for, and, it will give you guys a little bit more understanding of the personal training world as we delve into the whole fitness gym world. Again, I want these videos to be something that is broken down for the average everyday person just looking to make a change. There's enough fitness influencers out there that, are trying to do all these showy things. And, I just want to help the local people around our area that are thinking about making a change. And, it might help to just have a face that they know, or somebody that they can actually contact to guide them in the right direction, whether it's with us, or not. But of course, as always, you can go to www.briansgym.com and apply for a 3-day free trial. You can also come in during our staffed hours and have a tour, get a tour of the facility with staff. And depending on our trainer's schedule and what we have available, set up a consult and start making a difference today or in the near future. So we hope you'll give us a shot. I appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you later.